Welcome back to the Aurealis Therapeutics Team Interview Series, the medium through which we love to share a little bit of what's happening in our company, while, and most importantly, allow you to know our people. 2023, it's already past its first quarter. There's a lot of things happening, and who better to give us an insight into this bigger picture than our CEO, Juha Yrjänheikki, who we have today at the studio. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, we would love to know more about you as a person. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You were able to see the potential of an idea, turn it into a company, and gather the best team to make it happen. I mean, that must be extremely rewarding. So could you please share what were those interests? What was the passion? And basically, what was this journey that allowed you to be where you are today?
Yeah, I think deep tech and science has been always my passion. So already in the high school, I was really into the chemistry, biology, math. And when I was graduating from the high school, I wanted to apply for a university to study something in the life sciences. And back then, the synthetic biology, cloning, sequencing was just about kind of coming to PCR. So I was really into the deep tech and the science, and especially biology and chemistry and molecular biology. So that was kind of natural choice to apply for a university to study molecular biology and biochemistry and biotechnology. So that was kind of driving me, study something in the life sciences. And as you study life sciences, I think it becomes naturally, when you are interested in those stuff, is that you start to think about how to utilize what you hear, what you learn, what are the lecturers speaking to you about the cell biology, about the molecular biology, and about the biochemical pathways. I think it's a natural consequence, because you're a curious person, you are into the biology, you are into the deep tech, is that how could I use this? How could I, let's say, do something in these things that would make a difference in the benefit of the humankind or the nature, whether it's about curing a disease or diagnosing something or just researching a new pathway or something. Find out something new that you could use to make a difference. And I think that I would say that anybody and everybody who is in this field, in biotech, is probably thinking like this, is that how could I utilize what I'm learning, what I'm researching for a greater benefit to make a difference. So I think that's kind of the scientific part, or the passion for the science and the deep tech, and especially about the synthetic biology. And then the other part is probably the business side of it. So I always had this kind of tendency and interest to grow something, build companies, create companies, getting great teams together. And, in the end, it's also about the people. It's not only about the passion for the science and trying to make a difference, but who makes the difference is the people. So it's about growing companies, and having success is all about bringing also the right people together and making the chemistry, let's say, or the environment such that it enables the success of the company. And also because we are working on a biotech, and we know that developing a drug takes 10, 15 years, so you have to enjoy the time what you are doing. So if you're spending 10 years or even 15 years of creating something or testing a hypothesis, developing a drug for something, we should be enjoying the time when we are doing it. And whether it's going to be succeed or failing, it's all about doing something together and creating great things. So I think it's important that it's not just the outcome, it's also the journey about what we are doing together. And when you are doing it with the like-minded people who are passionate about the science, but it's not only about the science, it's all the people, whether it's HR, financing, IPR, legal, anybody and everybody in the company. I think in these type of companies, everybody has to have the mindset. And that's, I think, is important for my previous company and also here in Aurealis, is that we have these people, we have great people, and we are constantly debating, discussing in a good way about these things, not only about the science, but how to create things, how to develop the company. So I think that is the other side of the coin, is that you have passion for the science and the synthetic biology and cell and gene therapies, but you want to build something, you want to create something, you want to actually be part of the society. It's broader than that. I don't think you can only be thinking too narrowly about something.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing this, Juha. And I mean, this year on itself, it's going to be very eventful for the company, for Aurealis Therapeutics. There's a lot of value inflection points that will be made possible thanks to our latest financial round. So, would you like to give a little bit of details about these? How are you feeling with the result?
First of all, extremely happy about the financing round. So we closed the 10 million oversubscribed financing round, and that enables the further development of the program. So great respect and gratitude for the existing investors for the continuous support, but also for the new investors who I think are entering a very exciting stage of the company, because we are clinical stage, we are initiating phase 2 trials. So there is going to be a big value inflection points in the near future for the company. So extremely happy about the financing round, especially because we all know about the times where we are right now in the macroeconomy globally. I mean, it's not easy times to raise money. Considering that and achieving this financing milestone is extremely important, especially in these times.
Absolutely. And something that I'd love to bring up already at this point is that in 2023, our clinical program for chronic wounds will significantly accelerate. But I think that to understand things properly and thoroughly, it is important to go back to the why and really understand why are we doing the things that we do. So chronic wounds is one of the therapeutic areas that we are tackling, and we have started to do so with diabetic foot ulcers. Could you please tell us why is that?
I think that if I try to summarize the three main reasons, is that there is a massive unmet medical need out there. There is millions of people every day with the DFU out there suffering from the disease. You have an ulcer in the foot, you have reduced the quality of life, you have pain, you have a discomfort, and you cannot move properly, you cannot go to the store, do your groceries, and it influences you, your family, and your caregivers. And also, if you think about the disease, it's actually very severe. So we tend to think that the wound is a wound. It's not a big deal, but if it gets infected, you might end up having an amputation. You might even, it might lead to death. So it's actually a very severe condition, very severe complication of the diabetes. So I think first is that there is a massive unmet medical need out there, and it's global. And secondly, because we are running a business, it's also a big market opportunity. So while it's a disease which influences millions of people, it automatically means that it's a big market, large market opportunity. Third factor is that DFU fits our kind of a multi-therapy approach thinking nicely. It's a very, very good fit. The pathomechanisms and the healing cascade of the DFU, how the wound is supposed to heal, requires multi-targeting. So it's a prime example about how Aurealis technology, 4-in-1 technology, can be used or utilized to influence many steps of the wound healing cascade.
Right, and something we know is that chronic wounds are multifactorial. So are other deadly cancers such as the ovarian cancer, which is why many other treatments have failed. So, in general terms, could you tell us how does our AUP platform allow us to treat multifactorial diseases?
Well, I think this is the fundamental kind of basis of Aurealis, is that we are a technology platform company. And why we started this company and how we started this company was that we knew that there is complex diseases, severe diseases like chronic inflammation, cancer, chronic ulcers, non-healing ulcers, where you need multi-targeting. It's not enough to hit one target and expect that to make a difference. So in order to make a difference in these complex multifactorial diseases, you really have to hit multiple targets at the same time with the same product. Of course, you can have combination therapies, so drug 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a given indication, but it's very expensive, complex, and time consuming. So ideally, you would have a technology platform that would enable multi-targeting in one product. And that is what we are. That is what Aurealis is. That's Aurealis 4-in-1 technology. That enables it.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Juha. And I think that with this, we can already move into the what. Something we can see is that the Aurealis bacterial vector platform can be applied to a variety of therapeutic areas. So far, we have done that in chronic wounds with our lead candidate AUP16 and in oncology with our lead candidate AUP55. So could you please tell us what are the current plans for both of these lead candidates, AUP16 for chronic wounds and AUP55 for oncology?
Yeah, if you start with the AUP16, I think AUP16, it's clear. The main highest priority is the AUP16 phase 2 study in diabetic foot ulcer, what we are starting now 2023 in May, and that takes roughly 1 year. So creating the phase 2 results within a year in a phase 2 study for DFU is the main milestone. Secondly, we want to expand to other chronic indications. So what we want to do is that we want to start as soon as possible phase 2 trials in venous leg ulcer and pressure ulcer with AUP16. Thirdly, I think that we also want to kickstart the oncology programs. We have excellent results from in vitro, in vivo studies from our lead candidates, especially AUP55. And what we aim to do there is that we will perfect the non-clinical package, the CMC package, during this year and the early part of next year. And what we want to be is CTA or IND ready 2025. So what we want to do is start a phase 1 trial in ovarian cancer with AUP55 in early part of 2025.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this, Juha, and thank you for this beautiful interview. So as you could hear, 2023 is going to be a very busy and promising year for Aurealis Therapeutics. Stay tuned for our next interview in which you will be able to know our next team member and also hear a little bit about how everything has been progressing. Also, if you prefer to get all updates straight to your inbox, I invite you to subscribe to our quarterly newsletter. The link will be in the comments.